Well, welcome back to part 2 of Leaps of Joy with lesson 25, rat-a-tap, rat-a-tap, or compound strokes. Leaping with joy, skirtao, skipping along, being filled with the joy of the Lord. So we were looking at accents now. We can accent the beginning of the lesson 20, rat-a-tap, rat. I'm going to accent on the rim. Rat-a-tap, 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 rat-a-tap. So now the strokes are different, right? If I repeat, I go rat, and I got to stay down. That's called a downstroke or a control stroke, tap. But then I got to come back up after that, and it's an upstroke. Rat, upstroke, rat, tap, up, down, 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 tap, up. So it's a different stroke. Okay, now if you alternate, it's a whole different, it's all different. So now let's think about that. So we got rat, tap. So we got to do down, up, tap, like a triplet. Rat, tap, rat, tap. Now it's like a down, up, tap, down, up, tap, down, up, tap. This is a trip, up, let, trip, up, let, trip, up, let, trip, up, let. So that's a down, up, tap triplet, alternating singles, but grouped into triplets. Now you're going to put a drag in that. Rat, tap, rat, tap, rat, tap, rat, tap, rat, tap. 1 2 3 4 1 2 right? 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 So that's tricky. We talked about if there's no space at the end, there's no rest. You got to really work at it. Now, this accent, put a star there, is where they normally put it. We already know about that. 1 E N, right? 1 E N, 2 E N, 3 E N. We already went over that in the first video. What about this accent in the middle? Accenting the middle of the triplet or the E. E, you know how to call that? 1 E, I call jerky is funky. That E is where you get funk. So it's syncopation off the beat, accentuation, syncopation. So what do we have? We won. Now we got a whip. 1 E. Now, this is a drag tap. 1 E. That is a, go watch my video on this. 1 E, 2 E, 3 E. That's a drag tap. It's not really a tap, it's an accent. 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E. 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E. So go work on the drag tap, because then we're going to add just another tap after it. 1 E and, there's the tap. 2 E and, get back into position. 3 E and, back into position. 4 E and, back into position. Always get ready. 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and, 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. See how I'm back into position. White sticks against black shirt. By the way, that's not my website anymore. TeachMeToDrum.com. Years and years and years of that. Now it's Spirit Music Meetups.org. It's an organization. Hit the drum tab. So drag tap, add one more tap, rat-a, tap, rat-a, ma, Q, rat-a, tap. Now, we could go even crazier. We can do 2 accents, and now you get into some serious chops. 1, but we got to get over here, and. I'm sticking with that 1 counting. and I'm repeating the right side. You could do the en. So now I got a 1, that's not accented. E is accented. I got to get that hand up, and 1 E. See how I'm moving into position? 1 E and back into position. 1 E and back into position. Always get back in position. 1 E and. Always be prepared, like the Boy Scout motto. It's really cool. So you can see now accents on the outside of the rudiment is like a shuffle. The accents, you're going to hear this 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1. Actually, they're both right hands. 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 1. That's what you're going to hear. So it's 1, a 2. I'm sorry, 1. It's 1 E, a. And you got it right back up. Full stroke, right back up. Rebound stroke. 1 E, a. 2 E, 3 E, 4 E, 1 E, 2 E, So I got to get right back up. 1 E, right back. 2 E, 3 E, 3 E, 4 E, 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E, There's another trick when you have two fulls like that. You can learn how to pull your fingers up real quick. So you can get an accent. So you go 1 E, 2. So 2. So it's 1 E, 2 E. Yeah. Okay, so I don't want to get too crazy about that, but you can learn how to accent coming up. So it's not accent, accent. It's accent, accent. Anyway, don't want to get off on that. So that is tricky, and then all accented. 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E, 1 E, 2 E, 3 E, 4 E. See how I have to come back in. 1 E, 2 E, 3 E. So and again, you can hit different toms and different sounds on the accents. So what am I doing here? I'm taking that accent in the middle, the drag tap version, 1 E and 2 E and I'm learning how to shift it. They call this shifting or displacing it, displacement, to create different permutations. I think David Garibaldi, Tower of Power, funk music in a book called Future Sounds, I believe. I have 200 books, it's hard to keep track. Permutations, I think that's how he calls them. So what I'm going to do is instead of 1 E and what I'm going to do is start the rudiment on E, start the rudiment on and, start the rudiment That means I have to start the counting back here somewhere. I can put a foot on the count, wherever the count is, to feel the shift. So let's see if we can put a foot. So here is 1 E and, 2 E and, 3. We're going to go 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and. So I'm doing the left hand version. Let's do the right hand version. 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and. Okay, so that's no problem. Now we got to go 1. There's the foot. 1 E and So the very end, So it's 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and So I stay down. Now I'm going to start further back. The problem is that 1 is like that 2. That's the end of the rudiment. So that means I got to put a right hand right here. Then it's going to wrap over. So I gotta go 1. 1, E, and I'm going to start on and. 1, there's the right hand, E, and, 2, E, and, 1, E, oh, sorry, 1 is the right hand, right? 1, 1, 1, E, and, sorry, there's no foot there. 1, E, and, am I doing this right? We gotta wait until and. 1, so there's 1, E, and, 2. There you go. 1, E, and, 2, E, and, 3, E, and, I'll get this right. 1, E, 1, there it is, ye, and, 1, E, and, 2, E, and, 3, E, and, 4, E, 1, E, and, 2, E, and, 3, E, and, 4, E, and, 1. I just had to go slow enough. You can do anything if you go slow enough. We're going to shift it even further. Now, we're going to start on the left hand. So it's 1, 1. So it's going to go 1, E, 2, E. We're going to just start 2, E, 2, E, and, So it's 2, E, and, ya, 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 ya. That's ya, yeah, right? Ya, ya. So we're going to start on 1, E. Going to start on 1, E, and the and is silent, right? The and is silent, and the is ya. So it's one. It's that 1, E. So it's really ya 1, E, and ya 2, E, and ya 1, E, and ya 2, E, and 1, E, and ya 2, E, and ya 1, E, and ya 2, E, and. So it's a little confusing. That's why I wrote it out. And I should have probably wrote some more of the rudiment over here so you could see where you have to start. So I hope I didn't lose you on that. Take your time and look at this. I'll have this down in the description. Okay, so let's talk about what is all this mishmash. Well, you can see sometimes they give other ways of writing this out. If you relax these roughs, these drags, into strokes themselves, countable strokes. These aren't countable. They're just slipped in there. Now we can count at 1 E and 2 and. So we could go 1 E and 2 and. 1 E and 2 and. This is a great way to learn the rudiment and then compress those into grace notes that don't have any time value. 1 E and 2 and. 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and. 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and. 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and. 1 E and 2 and 3 E and 4 and. 1 E and 2 and. So this is a great way to stretch it out into a different counting. All we're doing here is this is just the same way, writing it out in notation. 1 E, that little slash means doublet. 1 E and 2 and. Eighth notes. 1 E and 2 and. left, right, and they're doubling that left, 1E and 2N. But you could shift this over and start to counting in a different spot each time. That's that whole shifting displacement permutation, isn't it? And when you do this, you get different countings. So you got to start on the right, left, right, left, left. Left, left. Right, left, right. There's the accent, left, left. So it's like 1 and 2 and a 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 da 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 da. So that anda is doubling this. So you put the slash right there at the end. Now you can shift it over further and you get 1 and 2En. 1 and 2En. So now this little left is being doubled. I'm putting these little dashes because you can just move these over systematically and you'll, anyway, I don't want to confuse there. So we're just going to go 1 and 2En, 3 and 4En, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left, right, 1 and 2En, 3 and 4En, 3 and 4En. There you go. And shift it over even further. Now we're going to have 1 and a 2 and 1 and a 2 and 3 and a 4 and a 2 and. So now we're doubling that n. Right there, we're doubling the n. So again, if you go systematically, you're going to go that, and then you're going to do and a 2, do and a, 2E. There's the 2E, and then finally and a. So shifting it this way, you get it one way, but if you shift it across, you'll get a different order, but it's the same thing. What are they doing? Instead of eighth notes, you'll see sometimes in some books, you'll see 16th notes, and they're doubling to create a 32nd note. So instead of 1 and 1E, instead of 1 and 2N, 1E and a, they're doubling that 1. So they don't even count it. Wanda, you could go wanda, wanda, wanda E and wanda D and wanda da, wanda E and wanda da E, wanda da, wanda, wanda E and wanda E and. It's kind of hard to say all that. So wanda E and then go 1 ida and 1 ida and 1 ida and 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and da 1 E and 1 E and da 1 E and da 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and 1 E and. So this is another way of doing that. See, there it is. Doubling the 1, doubling the E, doubling the and doubling the Wow. Whew. So you can also give these things different counts. So what are we counting here? 1E and 2. 1E and 2. So I'm counting these not as grace notes anymore, but expanding them and giving them all their own count. Well, I like these two right here. 1E and 2. 1E and 2. 1E and 2 and 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 1E and 2. Trying to get the position. 1E and 2. 1E and 2. 1E and 2. 1E and 2. I like that. All these are great counts. This is a triplet. A 1E, a 2. A 1E, a 2E, a 1E, a 2E, a 1E, a 2E, a 1E, a 2. So So there's only a little rest here, and you got to start back. A 1 E, a 2 E is the rest. A 1 E, a 2 E, 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 a 1 E, a 2. So not very much rest. This has a lot more rest. It has 3 counts, 16th note rests. This has 1/8 note rest. All these are amazing countings. I'm not going to play them just to get the counting. A 1 E and a 2. So there's a little rest there. A 1 E and a 2. A 1 E and a 2 E. A 1 E and a 2 E and E and a 1 E and a 2 E. A 1 E and a 2 and a 1 E and a 2 E. 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2. And you're going to play the lesson 25. E and a 1, and this is a big hole. 1 all the way to 2. E and a 1 and 2 and 2, but then it goes right back. E and a 1 and 2 E and a 1 and 2 E and a 1. Again, put your foot on the numbers so you can feel this. 16 note triplets. And the 1 E and this is a regular 16th. 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E. Wow. 1 E and 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 1 E and a 2 and 1 E a 2 and 1 E a 2 E and 1 E a 2 E and see, I with 2 E. This is regular straight time. 1 E a 2 E and 1 E a 2 E and 1 E a 2 E and 1 E a 2. You got to slow yourself down. This is 16ths, very similar, but it's 16ths. 1 E and a 2 and 1 E and a 2 E and 1 E and a 2 and a 1 E and a 2 and a 1 E and a 2 and a 1 E and a 1. So this is straight time. Here's a 1 E a 2 E. A 1 E a 2 E, 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 a 1 E a 2. So it wraps right back around. And a 1 E and a 2. This is straight time. And a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 1 E and a 2 a 1. So what I'm showing here is you got to use a lot of variety. Variety is the spice of life, all right? Lots of variety so that you can learn how to express this in many different ways, because music is not all the same way. You know, it's not just mashed potatoes every day. And what is this PAS 34? Instead of number 25 in the 26th Standard American Drum Rudiments, it's number 34 in the Percussive Arts Society list of 40 drum rudiments. So that's what that 34 is. Let me tell you about this. I name rudiments a lot different than they name them, because they don't make any sense. Rat-a-tap, compound strokes, lesson 25. I call it Lulu Raw because there's 2 left-hand grace notes. Lulu, U stands for setup. I'm setting it up. Lulu Raw, that's a main stroke. La, there's a main stroke. They call them simple strokes. I separate them so you can see that. Ra, I made it bold because sometimes you can't get this accent really to type out right. So I just boldface it. Lulu, ra, la, ra. Remember, you can change accents. The left-hand version, ru, ru, la, ra, la. So simple strokes are just ra and la. La, ra, la, la, ra, la. Ra, la, ra, ra, la, ra. La, ra, la, ra, la. And then setup strokes, ru, ru, la. There you go. Lulu, ra, la, ra. Has a kind of a ring to it, musical sound. Ru, ru, la, ra, la. What in the world is this? I call this an identification number because I created a huge chart of these. Stroke group identification number. I call this a group of strokes. Stroke group. Stroke group identification number. There's 3 main strokes. There's 3 strokes. 1, 2, 3. This is a compound stroke. These are simple strokes. That's the 3. This next piece says the lead stroke, whatever this is called the lead stroke. It's in the first and third positions. 1, 2, 3. 1 and 3. So it just tells you that. Now you can compare all 1.3 table. You can play them all together at a glance. You can sort these and put them all together so you can practice triplet. Wow, what is all this? Well, this is saying that this is a stroke type 3. In the beginning of the table, you have a list of stroke types, single strokes. Single stroke is just the right hand. That's a single stroke. That's a single stroke. So it's type 1, type 1. 1 and 1. Type 2 is a flam. That's just lu-ra. That's number 2. Type 3 is this drag, lu-lu-ra. So that's why this is called a 3. Dot. You could have gone 1.1 because those are stroke type 1s. But I can just use mathematical abbreviation and say it's 2 1s. It's 2, 1 in parentheses. It's 2 times 1. Whatever's in parentheses is the type, and there's 2 of them. So this is telling you exactly how this looks. Now, what about this accent? That is not in the table because you can change the accent everywhere you want. But if you wanted to designate the accent, you could just say it's in the 3rd position. So that's a 3. If it's in the 1st position, it'd be a 1, 2, or 3, 1.2, 2.3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, and 3. There's a way to remember this. 1, 2, and 3. Every group possibility of 1. Every possibility of 2. 1, 2, shift it over. 2, 3, shift it over. 3, 1. And that's all your 2s. And then finally, your 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's what this last piece is. And I hope this takes off someday. I haven't put it out there. So, wow. So, I mean, you can explore these things for a long time. Why do I have a lot of variety? Because when you're wanting to spend a lot of time doing something, if you just eat the same bowl of ice cream a lot, you're going to get really bored with it. You're not going to want to eat that bowl of ice cream anymore, whatever the food is. And you're going to get really bored of just doing this forever and ever. So you got to come up with new, fresh ways to do this. Living water is spring water. It's fresh. It comes down. It rains on the earth. It filters through the earth. And it's fresh and it gives you life. But water that just sits for a long time in a pond, in a puddle, right, in a well that's not spring fed, it's just dug a hole, that can get stagnant and it can kill you. And so in the Old Testament, they won't let you drink it. They won't let you use it for anything ceremonial to consecrate it, to make it holy. You can't use stagnant water. You're not even supposed to drink it. Make you sick. Same thing. You don't want to just get sick doing this. I mean, you can do it for a while, but then figure out how to make it fresh. You can slow down. Da 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 da. See, does that? It's the same thing. Let's get some of that buzz out of there. So you got to find a way to do the same thing, right? Or basically the same thing, maybe a little bit different, but in a fresh new way so that you'll spend time and still stay joyful. If you're bored, you're not joyful. So you're not staying in the joy. You're certainly not leaping with joy, right? So that's something I've been learning is play it many different ways. All right, I'm sure I haven't even tapped the surface, but I hope I got you thinking, and then you can spend time with the Lord, ask, seek, and knock, and just say, hey, Lord, how can I do this better? How can I do this different? How can I make this fresh? There's a word in Greek called kainos, K-A-I-N-O-S, kainos, and in Hebrew it's called chadish, C-H-A-D-A-S-H. Shadish, I'm probably not saying it right. Both of them mean fresh, unprecedented, never before seen. It's an inventor's word, a patent word. You can't get a patent if you're copying somebody else. Well, the new covenant, the New Testament, is nothing like the old covenant. A lot of people don't even get that. They don't even read the difference between the two. But it's not even anything like it. It means completely different in kind, unprecedented, sharing nothing with what came before it. Sharing nothing, right? You can't steal from an invention and call it a new invention. It has to be fresh water, fresh living water. Can't be old water. So the new covenant is kainos, chadish. Doesn't have anything like the old. Boy, you don't hear that preached very often. A new song is a spontaneous, never before heard song. So it's not pre-composed. Go check that out on my website. It's prophetic. It comes from God. Just like a lot of these things are going to come to you, boom, when you ask, seek, and knock. Maybe nobody's ever thought of it before because it's coming from the mind of God. It's prophetic. Okay, I just love going on and on about this. But we'll get it out in other videos, so we don't have to do everything right now. And thank you for your patience. I didn't want to do a third video. I could have made 2 15-minute videos. Maybe this is just too long. But I hope you hung in there. You can always watch a little bit at a time. Go play around with it, and then come back to it. Thank you again for tuning in to 22 minutes playing with God. 22 PWG. Get the word out. Share this and subscribe. Thank you again. Bye-bye.